Hey, how y'all doing? So, Ashley, this is my attempt to finding a hat to wear while I'm out on my walks. I know I need to get one that will cover the cheeks, but at least I'm starting. If you saw maybe my last email, first of all, how y'all doing? I'm Tyrone Milade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. So, hello everybody, how are y'all? But if you read one of the latest email that I sent last week, I think it was last week, I talked about my friend Vanessa, who went to Spelman with me, and she transitioned suddenly, but there was this most unusual connection that we had that connected us hours before she died. It was just really weird. Um, Not weird. In a way, it's weird. In a way, it was weird. But anywho, her sister sent me this hat that belonged to Vanessa. So this is Vanessa's Spelman hat. And now I wear it in her honor and just to connect with Spelman women from time memorial, which everybody can connect with Spelman women from time memorial if you so choose. So today I want to talk a little bit about on the walking with Tirra. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on my walk this morning. I want to talk a little bit about you know, I kind of struggle sometimes, and I know I'm a little shiny. I put something on my face to kind of protect it. But I struggle sometimes because I know what people want. I know what interests people the most. And it's also like I also kind of feel like I always want to give people the truth so that you can really take good advantage of, you can get the results that you want. You can get, I guess it doesn't matter where I walk. I was trying to walk more in the shade, but where I'm headed, there's no shade. I probably should be going the other way so I have good light. That's what I think I'll do. So yeah, look, check that out. I'm glistening, baby. I'm glistening. But yeah, I want y'all to have good, um, good, I want y'all to get the results that you want. And yeah, just to a certain degree in these spiritual streets, it's hard to believe I've been here for so long now. I honestly started when I was about 24. Really, when my friend Vanessa, her cousin is the link between us. And her cousin was telling me that when they were like, oh yeah, you and Tirra were good friends at Spelman together. Vanessa said something, and that's one of the reasons I was kind of like, dang, I'm kind of sad because Vanessa is a part of my memory. She remembers something that I don't think about a lot, but it's true. She said, yeah, she talked about how y'all would go to like the Nation of Islam and just kind of check it out. What were they doing? What else did we do? It was like these spiritual pools that I had early on. So if that's the case, then I think me and Vanessa, we were going to see what the Nation of Islam was about maybe when I was 19. That's how long I've been out in these streets. Now, the real transition started when I was 24. And, I just have never deviated from doing my best to figure out what is going on spiritually. Why do I have this pull? And I have to remember, I actually do know some stuff. I got a few things I want to say, and I know the pitfalls that this particular, that can be out there. And to me, one of the greatest pitfalls is most spirituality is just so masculine. It's masculine, and the the notion of feminine spirituality is buried so deeply in our psyche that I feel like we're having problems accessing it. And the better thing might be we're having problems trusting it. And that doesn't mean that we can't learn from, all this masculine, these masculine centered spiritual systems. Doesn't mean that at all. Because in my mind, we're both masculine and feminine. We have both those energies. That's why I love being part of the diaspora Ifa tradition, because we get that mother, we get that father, Orisha, representing, we have both in us. So, and you can't come into the world without a man. It takes a man and a woman to make a baby. We are both masculine, we are both feminine. So I give thanks, and I also see, I'll never forget, my husband and I were talking one time about how at this church where he was an associate minister, the women preachers, they always had some type of drama going on. And they always seemed so malcontented. And it was like they were always just kind of fighting and scrapping. Whereas the male associate ministers, because it was several of them, in total, male and female associates, they were just chilling. They were having a good time. And, it just wasn't all this fighting for power or whatever. And I said to him, if I was a part of a religion where God is a man and, everything is about that masculine energy, that's the predominant energy, I would probably be struggling too as a minister in that religion. He said, you know what? You're right. I can see it. So that's how I feel about everything that I study. And I even catch myself like, why am I just quoting men? You mean to tell me women don't have a say-so? There's no wise women out there that I could be quoting? I think that's interesting. I really do. I think that we don't realize what's embedded in us as women, where we've just been so programmed to buy into these masculine traditions and the masculine leaders even. Come on now. Like, I always tell myself, Tirra, don't beat yourself up too much, because you already know. They're the ones that have been in control. That's why you're quoting them all the time. They have a leg up on us, right? But we have to go out of our way. We have to start putting our foot down with ourselves and saying, I'm going to tap into this feminine power. I'm going to tap into, I'm going to find, this is really what I want us to do. I want us to find the feminine way, the divine feminine way. I want us to uplift as much as we can whatever goddesses that we can connect with and uplift them and learn their wisdom and share it. Because if we don't, we're never going to remember. And I just think that it's our turn to remember. Because we're going to always be, just like I was mentioning with the women preachers, we're going to always be like them. We're never going to feel quite right. We're never going to feel like we're quite there. And I will never stop listening to the wise men that I, love listening to and learning from. I will never stop that. This is not about that, but this is about being honest and saying, hey, I need to take note that when I'm studying these spiritual traditions, it is affecting the way I think about myself on a subconscious level. It's affecting the way I think about myself as a woman, because there's always this you're a second-class citizen in everything. Let me think. To me, even the Egyptian spiritual tradition, as much as I love it, it's, when I really listen to all the stories, it's very masculine dominated. But I'll take a tradition that elevates some semblance of a female deity than one that doesn't. But I don't think that we're ever going to really be free until I don't think we're actually going to live out our whole potential until we until we make that decision to, let's see, do y'all want to see me glisten? I'm hitting this light. I'm going to keep on my walk. I'm not going to worry about light because y'all out here walking with me, right? Anywho, we're never going to live up to our full potential. The feminine way is never going to come and be what she can be again if we modern day women don't figure out what are we going to do to be more connected to ancient feminine spirituality. And so things that I would recommend that you do is to go out of your way and study the goddesses. It's one of these hot days, y'all. I know I'm glistening out here, okay? I know I'm not matching too because y'all just saw my shorts. But anywho, I recommend that you learn about the goddesses of time memorial. That's one way you can do it. Just pick one and start learning about her and her wisdom and learning about her magic and her power and also the things that were, the trappings of what it meant to be a goddess, right? So it doesn't matter what the tradition is. You can pick any tradition and just hyper focus on the feminine deities and study. I was listening to a woman, and that's what actually kind of inspired this video, because I was like, this lady thinks exactly like me. And what was she saying that I want to tell y'all about? Oh, she talked about women mystics. I said, you know what? Boom. That's what I'm about. I want to help women step into feminine mysticism because it's very, very different from all this masculine stuff. And I want y'all just to look at all the spiritual traditions and how God is He. This cannot be. I'm sorry. If there is a male and a female, at least give me some concept that this male God cannot do what it is doing without the feminine. That's one of the reasons I will say, when we think about the Egyptian system, there is Nut and Geb. Nut is the sky goddess. Geb is the earth god. And this is, the two were enmeshed, and they just didn't want to be separate from each other. And Ra separated them. I think it was Ra separated them and made Nut the sky and Geb the earth. So I love that. I don't need a tradition that excludes the masculine, because y'all know I love men. But I'm sorry. And I will say recently, I've been learning more. I've been going out of my way to learn more about what Ifa teaches. And I just didn't remember this, but got it. Olodumare, who I really don't believe is male or female, but Olodumare, they call him he. No, it was Obatala, not Olodumare, Obatala. And even in the creation of the earth, Obatala, I can't remember exactly how it went. I'm going to have to go and really grab it and hold it in my head. But Obatala is like both masculine and feminine. I'll say it that way. Because the Bible said that Obatala has been related to amphibians. And when amphibians, if there's too many, say, male tadpoles, then some of the tadpoles switch over and become female. so that they can continue to procreate. And that's what Obatala did. But even with that, there was a need for the Iyami to be there. There was a chameleon and a hen that were dropped down before the earth was formed. The chameleon was dropped first. Then a hen was dropped. The chameleon was trying to see, is it solid enough? And then the hen is the one that did the scratching that created the earth part, the land part of the earth. I can get down with that. So you want to start noticing where the feminine power is coming in. And it will manifest itself in different ways, okay? And, there's always going to be feminine as in what we think of as feminine, soft and that kind of thing. But then there's the other aspect of the feminine, the kind that can be more violent. And we need to embody the light in the dark. Now that is something to me that is one of the feminine teachings, embodying the light and the dark. So it's like we don't need, in the absence of light, darkness is still a beautiful thing. In the that's what we think, instead of, and I'm not saying all traditions think this, but people make it sound like sin and the failures in our, in our humanity. You're just such this horrible person. We know that's not true, right? not us over here in the divine feminine. We know it's not true. Let's see here. What else I want to tell y'all? Oh, okay. I believe in doing the dances of the goddesses, listening to the music. Doing things that really connect you to the goddesses. And, the goddess path also is about embodiment. There's so many rules in these masculine traditions, in my opinion. Do this, don't do that. I'm just like, oh my God. Because let me tell you about the feminine. The body. We are natural oracles. When we are allowed to stay connected, when we go out of our way to be connected, if you feel like you lost the connection and you go out of your way, you're going to reconnect. And it's like, this is what is our supreme guidance. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe in oracles. I believe in astrology and numerology and oracle decks and all of that. And for women, we are natural oracles. And so the reason this is so important is sometimes you just got to go within. This is the goddess tradition. You've got to go within and be able to trust yourself to know what to do. And in that regard, it's not a lot of rules. It's just not. It's not needed. And we know how often when a woman is in tune, man, this woman can make some stuff happen. She'll just know what to do. I've experienced it as a woman. I'm sure we've seen it with the women that we love. Or maybe you know how you've just been like, yeah, it's just certain times I just know how to tune in and I'm right, however you're tuning in. So, So we don't need all the rules. And I think that's the part that makes it difficult for a lot of women is, oh, I don't trust myself. Well, that's part of the game that's been run on us. Don't trust yourself. You might mess up. And then you go to hell. Or I don't know what the other traditions say. I was raised up, in the Christian church. But, yeah, whatever these things are, we got these oppressive religions that, man, maybe you suffer right here on earth. Islam. I'm calling Islam out. It's just so many of these religions just Yeah, and we got to get it straight in India. I don't know how they got it. I don't know how. Well, maybe it's colonization has just messed it up. Because I know they got a deep goddess tradition, but those women over there, some of them, they are not treated well. And so remember this: when you free your womb, you freeing other people's wombs. Okay? The womb, the energy of the wisdom of the women's wombs, it emanates out and helps heal other people. That's something that my godmother taught me. It's one of the reasons I won't give up. I won't give up. I won't give up on working on my womb and helping other women do the same. So yeah, it is time for us to remember the divine feminine. It's time for us to tap into the power of the divine feminine within and without, being out here in nature. Top way. I think that's part of the reasons I do really love EFI. Because EFI is so nature-based, you know. All the pagan religions being outside. This is what a goddess is. But, you know, we know that the masculine is out here too. But for sure, woo, be outside if you want to connect with the goddess. Connect with the earth. It's taken away from us, y'all. I want y'all to know that. And for the express purposes of us feeling disempowered. So, okay. I feel like I've given a nice little mini lecture and shared a few tips. I'm going to get off because I'm sure my phone is super hot being out in the sun. That's not too bad. Anywho, thank you all so much. Connect with you on the next Walking with Tirra. Peace and love.